The Papal Conclave, 1521–1522, elected Pope Adrian VI to succeed Pope Leo X. The conclave was marked by the early candidacies of cardinal-nephew Giulio de' Medici and Alessandro Farnese. Although the Colonna and other cardinals blocked their election, Adrian, the viceroy to Spain and a clear pro-Imperial candidate, was elected as a compromise candidate despite his absence from the conclave. The number of cardinal-electors and the length of the sede vacant increased the cost of the conclave even in excess of the funds distributed by Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, Francis I of France, and Henry VIII of England to promote their candidates. Cardinal-electors. There were 39 cardinal-electors, only 3 of whom were non-Italians. 9 non-Italians did not attend, despite the lengthy delay. The lengthy delay was due to the capture of one cardinal on his way to Rome, who was held for ransom. In the meantime, the agents of Charles V, Holy Roman Emperor, Francis I of France, and Henry VIII of England began to distribute the large sums that the monarchs had sent to Rome for bribes. The preferred choice of Henry VIII was Thomas Wolsey, although Giulio de' Medici was also acceptable to him. Henry VIII asked Charles V to support Wolsey and sent his army to Rome. Even the large bribes of these monarchs were less than the cost of the conclave, and even the papal tiara was mortgaged to continue to fund it, and only a very few of the Italian cardinals would even consider a non-Italian. Charles V eventually threw his support behind Medici rather than Wolsey, although he was opposed by many because he was the cousin of Leo X and the college feared a hereditary papacy. Francis I supported the election of a French pope backed by 1 million gold écus, although whether he actually sent the funds to Rome is unclear. In fact, Francis I's agents focused their attention on the pro-French Italian candidates, mainly the 3 Venetians. Francis I claimed to control the votes of 12 cardinals. Medici for his part entered the conclave with 15 or 16 supporters but very little chance of securing additional votes. The Papal. The bookmakers of Rome offered bets on the Papal, an early example of gambling on papal elections. Medici had the best odds at 25 to 100. Farnese's odds were 20 to 100. Proceedings. The conclave began on December 28, 27 days after the death of Leo X. The cardinals agreed to a conclave capitulation, but Baumgartner calls it an exercise in futility as always. The balloting began on December 30. Farnese, supported by Medici and his supporters, received 12 initial votes, all from creations of Leo X. If Farnese could have secured the votes of Leo X or other cardinals, he could easily have been elected. The Roman mob looted him home and his odds increased to 40 to 100, although his votes dropped to 4 on the second day. After the second ballot, one cardinal pleading ill health was released from the conclave by a 2/3 vote. The conclave dragged well into 1522, taking only 1 vote per day. Various Italian ambassadors remained well informed of the progress throughout. Farnese remained the favorite into the 8th scrutiny, with Medici asking for an excessis after Farnese received 12 votes. Farnese received 8 or 9 additional votes by excessis, and one cardinal even shouted out, "Papam habemus." However, 2 of Farnese's strongest opponents demanded a formal counting of the votes, and it was revealed that Farnese was just short of the required supermajority, after which Farnese was discredited and lost support. Medici attempted to promote the candidacy of others in his party, but none could gain wide support. Wolsey received 8 votes, but his young age deterred other cardinals from supporting him. Medici addressed the conclave on January 9 and suggested they turned their attention to candidates not present in the conclave, expressing his willingness to elect Adrian of Utrecht. In the following scrutiny, Adrian received 15 votes, including all those controlled by Medici. Colonna, the main opponent of Medici and those in his party, then declared his support for Adrian, netting him 13 more votes by excesses, exactly 2/3. As Adrian was not present, his candidacy did not require 2/3 plus 1. The crowd did not understand which cardinal had been elected immediately upon announcement. As Adrian was relatively obscure and currently in Spain as viceroy to Charles V, 3 cardinals were dispatched to inform him of his election, with a private letter reaching him on January 24. In the meantime, rumors of Adrian VI's death spread in Rome, and Francis I began to prepare for a new conclave. The cardinals did not bring a fisherman's ring with them to Spain, to ensure that Adrian VI would be forced to travel to Rome, where he arrived on August 28. Adrian VI said Mass every day for the year he was Pope, in contrast to his 2 predecessors who may have never celebrated Mass at all.